has had 3 major strokes. The first being in 2011, the second in 2018, the third in 2022. And the reason he has had those strokes is because he has a condition or has had a condition called atrial fibrillation. Well, 3 weeks into patching, he had gone from having AFib 4 or 5 times a day to having them maybe 2 or 3 times a week. By third week of patching, by the time July came here, every time he had a stroke, they said, well, wherever you're going to be at the end of a year, that's going to be your new normal. Well, the last stroke kind of really did him in 22. His whole personality changed. Well, as we began to patch from April to July, we noticed things getting better with him cognitively. He had taken a test in 23, a 3.5-hour cognitive test, and he had failed every parameter. They said, you need to call the family in because that's his new normal. He can't sign documents. He's in a bad situation. Fast forward to July of 24 last year. He took the same test again. The doctor called us and told us, he said, I haven't seen this before. Last year, you failed all the parameters at a year out. This is 2 years out, and you passed every parameter on the test. Now, that was a praise you, thank you, Jesus. Wendal had to use a scooter to get around because he couldn't walk. He couldn't walk far anyway. When I say far, I mean like a couple of rooms away. He's struggling. By August, Wendal stopped using the scooter. He began to walk and be able to walk at some distance with a cane. In September, he got his voice back to sing. Now, prior to April, Wendal talked like he was inebriated. He was severely drunk, and he was slurring, you could hardly understand what he was saying. And now September, he's saying. Now October, he goes to the cardiologist. She said, I don't see any sign of AFib. Now, he had been on drugs for this and had 2 more strokes, having been given medication that didn't hold him. But now, after patching from April to October, now she don't see any signs of AFib. We hadn't heard that in 14 years. So, he's just been getting better and better. And this right here, bless me, all along, Wendal really hasn't been able to drive. In these last few months, we trusted him to go about a mile up the road to the local store. I live in the country, so, it's not like a city driving thing. Well, Friday before last, Wendal had to go to West Point, which was an hour and a half from us. And I couldn't go, but he had to be there. My husband not only drove that hour and a half, but part of that drive was on an interstate, going 70 miles an hour. Now, his brain wouldn't allow him to drive. That's why he couldn't drive all these years. But he was able to do it. He drove there and drove back by himself. That's like, thank you, Jesus. I'm telling you guys, stay on your patching. Wendal and I will never stop using the X39 patch.
And with this new invention right here that's come into my life, 14 years of taking medicine, 14 years of going to therapy, 14 years taking blood thinner and stuff, nothing has done me better than this X39 patch right here. A year ago, I even have a video out there. It's a video that I'm so happy that I had something that saved me. It was bringing me a better quality of life. And I couldn't speak as much. I would speak, but it was mumble jumble, And when they gave me my speech back, I'm talking to you right now. That's what I'm saying. It's so great. I'm talking right now to you all right now. Mm-hmm. Can y'all hear me? I have mental clarity right now. I can drive right now. Stay with it. It's remarkable.